What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. I'm here for another video, and I told you guys so. This was absolutely like clear as day. That check went to the mama's house, and Tamika just exposed all this. Like the videos, the intro plays, and we got to get right into some things.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. That's all. 1 and 1 got to equal 2.
Make it make sense, boo.
Big moves. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Sun in the sky.
Okay, guys, so sorry. If you watched the first video, I'm sorry, there was a sound issue, so it had to come down. This one will be correct. Anyway, this interview that was done by Access Atlanta, I will link the entire interview in this video. Definitely check the young lady out. She really did a great job. We're just going to take a couple of tidbits, and then you can watch the whole video because the whole interview is actually pretty explosive. So it has not been a good week for Tasha or her mama. It is not the Ike and Tina references. The mama being the 5th member of the group. It's not been great. And now I just did a video this morning where the mistress came forward with Tasha K with receipts of a 5-year relationship she's been in, allegedly, with Latosha's husband. So I will link all those videos at the end of this one, but we got to get into the current interview because the one thing there was a couple things that were missing. First, it was, well, if she never actually physically saw the check, how does she know where it went? She answers that, and that it went to the mama's house, which is what I have been saying since day one, since I saw the way that the mom greeted Tasha, and it was very cold and dry when she greeted Tamika. So let's get into this interview.
And really the issues that were, I guess, a result of the conversation that you were actually trying to have with your mom and your sister. It was supposed to be a really coming together moment because you and your sister hadn't spoken.
Right.
And so that kind of blew up and escalated. In that moment, going back to that, was it a moment where you were just like, you know what, I just got to say this, I got to get it off my chest? Or did you even think about it? Like, did it just come out?
Girl, before I even went to film, I was in a car and I said, okay,
Good question.
I'm going to put on my imaginary What Would Jesus Do bracelet. And during the filming, I kept looking down at my arm like, okay, what would Jesus do? And then I started rocking. And it's like I was looking at my arm, all of a sudden the thing slipped off my arm. Imaginary thing slipped off. And when I felt attacked, it was just lies. Like when I walked in, my sister she did not want to work that out. I walked into, oh, you think you're better than everybody else. You don't know how to treat people. It was like, and I'm sitting here like, this is our first conversation.
My heart really goes out to Tamika, because if you are the one that has felt like from childhood that you were the other one, I think it has a lot to do with her relationship with the daddy. I did a video on it. The mom doesn't appreciate that because she feels like the dad walked out on her.
And you doing this in front of the cameras? Like, we supposed to be making up right now. So, and I even brought my daughter. A lot of people like, why she bring her daughter? I brought my daughter because I was like, if they see my daughter, they're like, oh, this is my niece. You know what I'm saying? Let's be a big family. But honey, it was like she was sitting there, but she wasn't. Like, they just.
So you completely ignored your niece and your granddaughter? They were ready for Tamika and Tamika only, and they did not care whether it was the Bravo cameras or the niece or the granddaughter who watched. They were ready to give it to this girl.
Just totally just ignored her sitting there. So I just felt like I was being beaten up on. And it was just lies. And I was like, okay, I know how to shut you up with the truth. And it just came out. It wasn't planned. It was something that I had forgiven her for, something that I had swept under the rug. Because
clearly she had forgiven her because it's $30,000 and most people would have sent her to jail.
I felt so attacked. And I had to, that was my defense mechanism. And I just had to, and it just came out.
And for those who don't know, it's a lot of layers to it. I'll try to give a brief overview of kind of what's going on. So years ago, Tiny's mom found out about Sound Exchange, which is kind of like a union that gives artists.
Similar to a union playing on the radio. And so by the time we found out about it, they had already collected some money. So it was a nice piece of change that each person was supposed to receive, I guess. I didn't know about it either. Like Tiny's mom signed me up.
Tiny's mom signed all of us
Signed
up.
all of
That's what I was gonna ask you. So she signed all of you up. So Candy and Tiny, you guys.
It's like, baby, Tiny just got a nice little check, baby. Did you get your check, baby?
That sounds just like Tiny's mom.
I said, what check? She said, baby, the check I signed you up a few years ago. I said, I haven't seen the check.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. So she's like, I'm gonna get on the phone. Let me find out where your money. So once she did her investigation, it was like my address had been changed. She put my address in. At the time I was living in New York. So she put my New York, it was changed to my mom and my sister's address. My sister was living with my mom at the time.
She didn't even realize she just gave us something. Your sister was living with your mom at the time, which we can only assume meant that she was having hard times. So she's having hard times, and look at God, a $30,000 check just shows up in the mailbox. Now, here's the thing, because what if the mom did get that check and just gave it to them because your sister's living well in New York, and baby, y'all need this money and you need to get out my house? What if that's the case? The problem is, A, did Tasha know about this? B, after they got on their feet, because, you know, Tasha and her husband are living in a nice house now, driving nice cars, got Louis Vuitton house coats. Once you got some of that escape money back rolling in, why didn't you pay this girl her money back? Hard times, okay, but never okay to steal somebody's money. That's a problem. And I had been waiting for somebody to actually say, Mims, you were right. The check went to the mama's house, but we're not done.
Okay. And so you still really don't know how the address got changed.
No.
So
I mean, I know, but
well,
I didn't do it. Miss Diane didn't do it.
Yeah. And so allegedly, you know, according to you, Tamika, the checks were going. I'm pulling a Candy. Allegedly.
No, allegedly, you got me.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
She got on the phone with the guy who basically at the time was running, I guess, that department, and he basically gave her the address where her checks have been going, and he also told her these checks are being cashed. You know, so she was like, being cashed, and then she wanted to see the checks, and
they sent the copies of the checks. On the back of the check was a fake handwriting that said my name and my sister's husband's name. It was cash in his account.
Wow.
The check was forged and endorsed. Those were the missing components to this story, y'all. The check was cashed and endorsed.
So I like endorsed.
Yeah.
Endorsed. Back then, I don't know if they can still do it now.
Yeah.
But 9 years ago, you could do that.
So yeah, a lot of people, I mean, I guess that helps to explain. I know a lot of people's like, how can somebody get your check, or how could you not?
Y'all think Candy watches my show? Because that's what I was saying in my reviews. That part didn't add up. Like, we would need to actually see the check. But now we know that Tamika saw the check. She is just personally choosing not to file charges against her sister and potentially her mama, because who knows? The conspiracy theories are about to run amok. Y'all, the mystery's been solved. We all saw the mom's behavior just did not feel right to a daughter. I want to say this. I feel bad for Tasha, just in the sense that this has got to be the worst week ever. The allegations about your husband's mistress just come to a head. Everybody's saying that you don't have a brain of your own. And now your sister has just let us know that check went to your mama's house. So does that mean she's implicated? It's a whole lot. Y'all know she's just been trying to be the fifth member of the group, y'all. She's just trying to live. I go live every Sunday right after SWV and Escape airs, 30 minutes. You won't want to miss those, because I actually let you guys up. I have some really good in-depth deep dives into these issues. I will link all those. One called Manipulated that links Monique, Latocha, and Wendy Williams and the similarities between all their husbands. This one that just dropped today, the 5-year affair confirmed. I will link those videos, but you guys tell me in the comments, what does it mean now to know that the check was at the mama's house and potentially in the mama's hands at some point? This is crazy. Like the video, and definitely I will link Access Atlanta's whole interview. Check her out. She is young. She's doing her thing. It was a really great interview, and there's a lot more juicy tidbits in that interview. I will link it in the description of this video. Definitely subscribe. like her content and you know, comment, because she did her thing with this interview and it needs to get some more traction. People need to know that this interview exists. So that's what we do around here. We make sure that the content creators get their, you know, just due, and she deserves it. So see you guys later. It will be linked.